Sword and Musket. My very first video on this upcoming mod for Bannerlord dates back from September 2020, when I was first introduced to the project thanks to its manager, Hypercharge, and its creative producer, Lucon. Ever since that video, during which I briefly mentioned what Sword and Musket is about, and also that it was a work in very early process, I've been keeping you guys up to date on any changes, any developments, and or issues its developers met along the road. Considering it's been more than 7 months since that video, and I've been picking up on additional information that has been posted on the Sword and Musket Discord, which I haven't always been able to tell in my videos because it was all still a work in progress, and since much of it has been added later, I figured I'd make a video with everything we know about Sword and Musket. That is up until this point, of course. I'll try to go over everything and also include basic information that I haven't told you guys yet in my videos, but which is public knowledge, as it can be found on their Discord and other media channels. If everything goes well, I have also timestamped key questions for those that are interested in those in particular, and to also kind of organize this video in its presentation. Okay, so if you're ready, let's start the video. Sword and Musket is a single player and multiplayer mod for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, set during the French Revolution, the Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. The specific time period being from the year 1789, as that is the year during which the French Revolution starts, till 1815 when the Napoleonic Wars reaches its conclusion. This project is currently in a very early phase of its development, with over 40 developers and sound designers working on it. The Sword and Musket's team's primary goal is to provide an enjoyable multiplayer experience. Once the team feels like they have achieved this goal, they will begin to work on the single player side, which I'll discuss at a later point in this video. Since the first goal is to release the mod as multiplayer, I'll briefly go over the items they're working on in regards to this side. They are currently working on 2 nations, France and the United Kingdom. They are in the process of making models of infantry, cavalry uniforms, and so on. The regiments they have identified will resemble units in the Mount & Blade Warband Napoleonic Wars DLC, but not exactly be the same. They have plans for other nations to be added to the game as well, but I'll mention this list in a separate chapter of this video. Their work is also focused on scenes and environments, props and other assets. Sadly, due to the fact that the modding tools have not yet fully been released for Bannerlord, this has been restricting them in the amount they can do when it comes to, for example, coding. My most recent video on this topic briefly discussed the open letter sent by a programmer of the Kingdoms of Arda modding team, who was also representing over 12 other projects, including the Sword and Musket mod. This letter, in short, sums up some of the main issues, concerns, and frustrations that the modding community has and has had with Bannerlord's development, along with the request for more transparency and communication from the developers, to which they have responded with a board meeting, internal discussions, and the promise of cooperation with the modding projects. Now, the good thing about this delay in regards to the tools is that in the meanwhile it allows the Sword and Musket team to work on and perfect visual based assets. The modeling and artist team have worked on both English and French troop designs, and have also worked on muskets, pistols, cannons, and even some building models. The video released on Resonant's channel, for example, showed us an early test with the 2nd Coldstream guards in action. Their uniform, along with the French 1ER Grenadier unit, was already finished according to the project manager. We saw that the reloading animations were still those of the crossbow, something a lot of people mentioned when watching the video, but naturally that video was a showcase of a project in very early development, and it was, as it still is, a work in progress. The map and scene design team have been working on map IDs for both single player and multiplayer. Back in February, word came out that the project was also looking for voice actors, both men and women. This to integrate voice-over and ambient sounds. Music is also considered very important, and thus the team is planning to include music pieces of very famous composers such as Ludwig van Beethoven, Antonio Vivaldi, Carl Maria von Weber, and many other artists. A frequently asked question is the one about which nations we can play as when the mod is released, and the nations that will be included into this mod are the United Kingdom, France, Austria, Prussia, Russia, and potentially more. I have heard rumors that Spain and the Ottoman Empire may be included as well, but as they are just rumors, I'm not including these to the official list. Currently there is no date set for the release of Sword and Musket. Everything depends solely on the release and development of the modding tools. As I already explained, the team is limited as to what they can do with these tools. Is there a single player campaign planned? Yes, according to the information on their Discord and the responses from the Sword and Musket team I saw to this particular question, there will be a single player campaign. However, it will be through storyline scenes and not take place on a world map. This means that different episodes will be shown to the players as the mod discusses the French Revolution, the Revolutionary Wars, and Napoleonic Wars. The Sword and Musket team wants to convey these events to the player in some form of a history lesson. This leaves us with a unique approach to these historical events, and currently they are still in the phase of writing a script for these chapters. So there you have it. This has been all the information from all my update videos, along with the additional information I found, all crammed into one video. I've had quite a few people come up to me and ask me some of these questions, so I do hope I was able to answer some of them. I also hope you enjoyed watching, and I definitely recommend you to check out this project if you haven't already. They have their own Discord server, which I'll link in the description of this video, along with any other media that you can check as well. I want to thank you for watching, make sure to leave a like if you did, and subscribe for more Napoleonic Wars content, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care everyone.